Hello, from the KUOW newsroom, this is Seattle Now. I'm Patricia Murphy with a roundup of today's top stories. It's Monday, June 23rd. We'll start with two pieces of litigation that happened today. First, the federal government is suing Washington state over a new law that some Catholic priests refuse to follow. Scott Greenstone has more.
A law that would go into effect next month requires Catholic priests to report sexual abuse, even if that information is learned during confession, a typically confidential sacrament. Here's how Yakima's Bishop Joseph Tyson responded to the law's passage last month.
Our clergy are prepared to go to jail before breaking the seal of confession.
A new lawsuit President Trump's Civil Rights Division filed calls the law anti-Catholic. At least 6 other states have similar laws. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson, a lifelong Catholic himself, said in a statement, quote, "It is disappointing but not surprising to see the DOJ seek to shield and protect child abusers." Scott Greenstone, KUOW News.
Next, the country's largest real estate brokerage is suing Seattle-based Zillow, which is the country's largest real estate listings site. The brokerage Compass filed the lawsuit this morning. It accuses Zillow of anti-competitive practices for restricting some listings on its site. Compass recently launched an exclusive short list of properties available only through the brokerage. Zillow then announced that any home placed on the market that's not listed on its site within 24 hours will be banned from Zillow forever. Compass says the so-called Zillow ban looks to exclude competitors and violates antitrust laws. Zillow says the claims are unfounded and they're leveling the playing field in the interest of home buyers and sellers. In tariff news, business leaders in King County say they're starting to see the effects of worsening trade relations with the rest of the world. Some are worried about a potential talent drain's effect on the local economy. Noelle Gasca has more.
Brian Surratt is the president and CEO of Greater Seattle Partners. He says recently the organization traveled to Germany to make a pitch to international companies. Bring your businesses to Seattle. But some executives told Surratt they're waiting 2 years to make any major investments in the U.S. And others told him they're going with another option.
We may not wait for America to get its policy house in order. We actually need to start poaching American companies, poaching American talent, poaching folks who want to come to a more stable investment environment.
He also suspects business leaders in British Columbia are also looking to poach talent from the Pacific Northwest. Surratt spoke at a committee meeting of the King County and Seattle City Councils, which is trying to prepare for the impact of tariffs on the local economy. Noelle Gasca, KUOW News.
Washington now has its 7th confirmed case of measles so far this year. This latest case is in Whatcom County. Health officials don't say whether the person is a child or an adult, but do say they are isolating at home. They also say any people who may have been exposed are being contacted, and the risk to the public is low. 4 other measles cases have been confirmed in King County and 2 in Snohomish County so far this year. The highly contagious airborne virus can cause a high fever, cough, and rash. Public health officials say the best way to protect yourself is to be vaccinated. As the season of heat and wildfires approaches, the state's largest utility is warning customers about possible preventative blackouts this summer. Puget Sound Energy is once again considering so-called public safety power shutoffs to prevent power lines from sparking wildfires. The utility has identified areas of high risk, including Vashon Island, parts of I-90, Highway 2, Highway 20, and the Mount Baker Highway. PSE says it hopes to give customers 48 hours notice, also reminding customers it might be a good idea to update contact information and emergency plans. Customers who rely on electronic medical equipment like dialysis machines can also apply for life support status. A Republican proposal in the U.S. Senate would sell millions of acres of federal land. It would auction off public land in 11 western states, including Washington. John Ryan has details.
Senate Republicans added the proposal to the big budget bill currently being debated. They want the U.S. Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management to sell more than 2 million acres in the next 5 years for large-scale housing construction. National parks and wilderness areas would be off limits, but many popular hiking spots could be up for sale. Democrats and environmental groups are fighting the proposal. Senator Patty Murray's office says more than 5,000 miles of trails in Washington are at risk of becoming private property. A spokesperson for Washington's construction industry says they are open to proposals that make more land available for housing. Fire experts say putting more houses next to wildlands is a recipe for dangerous wildfires. John Ryan, KUOW News.
University of Washington astronomers saw pulsating stars and thousands of new asteroids today. They're among the first images revealed from the world's newest mega telescope. Gabriel Spitzer has more.
The Vera C. Rubin Observatory sits atop a mountain ridge in the Andes, where it will conduct the largest ever survey of the night sky. The telescope's 25-foot wide mirror and 3.2 gigapixel camera will essentially download the entire sky. UW astronomy professor Mario Juric says scientists will be able to comb through a huge pile of data and tackle a range of different questions.
So this will be the telescope that will essentially drive the rest of astronomy for the next 10 to 20 years by serving everyone else the most interesting things to look at.
UW is one of 4 founding organizations of the Rubin Observatory. Researchers say they expect it to shed light on many of the universe's mysteries, from a theorized Planet X to the behavior of black holes. Gabriel Spitzer, KUOW News.
To close today, we have 2 quick updates about the summer season. First, organizers behind the Duwamish River Festival in Seattle's South Park neighborhood say they're canceling this year's event due to concerns about immigration enforcement operations. In a statement published on Facebook, the Duwamish River Community Coalition said they hope to bring the festival back in the future. It was set to take place on August 9th. And summertime means pupping season. Harbor seal pupping, that is. The moms and babies can be seen on Puget Sound beaches this time of year, and wildlife managers are reminding people what they should do if they encounter the seals. The short story is stand back. Marine mammals are federally protected, and you've got to keep 100 yards away from seals on the beaches. Also, don't let your heart get ahead of your head. Experts say it's not uncommon for seal mothers to leave their pups alone for short periods of time, and it doesn't mean they've been abandoned. Touching or approaching the pup could cause the mother to abandon it, so if you're concerned, the most helpful thing to do is to file a report online with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Next time on Seattle Now, artificial intelligence could lead to a smaller workforce at Amazon.
There was a time when people would say, hey, go into coding. You're going to be fine, kid. You're going to have job security. And with things like GitHub Copilot and a lot of tools that Amazon and others have come out with, it's not necessarily replacing development jobs one for one, but it's making existing software development jobs so much more efficient that it's raising new questions about the kinds of productivity that companies like Amazon can get out of their existing workforce.
Hear that Tuesday morning. That's all for today from the KUOW Newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, and I'm Patricia Murphy. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See you later.